gas. Welcome to the war, America. Enemy tank is down. We could mustard gas some of these, get them out of the trenches. Just because I'm nice like that, you see. Hello everybody, welcome back to another MoisTea gaming video. Before we begin, this episode should be featuring on the 23rd. If that is correct, the 23rd, then in approximately an hour and a half, I will be doing my very first live stream of a game which I thoroughly enjoy playing, and I will be giving away 3 copies of that game for free during the live stream. So if you can make it there, fantastic. It will be at 7:30 British summertime PM. You know, 7:30 PM. Make that. Not in the morning, don't worry. I'm not that much of a lunatic. Back to this game, however, it looks like everything is fairly okay, relatively. We could do with attacking again. It's making them very queasy about trying to attack us back, so we might as well get back to it. Straight for Calais. They have tanks there. Let's try and get some tank on tank action. We have our super death stack here. Let's take Calais and knock the British out. This reckons that it will be a stalemate. The enemy have access to the little whippet light tank, 2 of the big boys, 1 with the big gun, and 2 with extra MGs. I'm going to go with a similar setup to last time. I'm going to go a little bit more mental on this front section, however, just because I can. More MGs than normal. I've got 4 here, 2 at the front, a mortar here, and 2 more on the sides here. If you're new to the channel, what do you think of this setup? Personally, I think it bodes very well against an enemy attack. However, they haven't actually yet tested it against my defenses. But I've heard a few people who are regulars here have tested it with flying colours, so let me know what you think. I'm gonna go for the usual 2 lights, 4 heavy artillery. There's another one knocking around somewhere. At least there should be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I messed it up. I need another one. That'll do. 1 balloon, which should cover most of the 2 forward lines that they have. We do not have access to any further reconnaissance, which is annoying. We have a mass amount of tanks now that we can use, and I'm just really debating which area to go for. B looks promising, simply because we can run around this. I'm hoping they connect this little section up. If they don't, it shouldn't matter too much. I should be able to clear this section, even if it means I get elites in here, gas this, and then murder them all. But that's only one of the many options that we have. And then we can run over here, which is a very short distance, to get into this section and grab that. Bear in mind, these trenches will get upgraded and extended upon. They do have more supply. Running into this section here would be ideal because they have less arcs of fire towards us. And this, we might just need to blow it to bits. Let's see how we get on. I'm only going to leave 2 units in this section if they do decide to attack, and can quickly reinforce it with our rear guard over here. And 2 over here because, again, we can also quickly reinforce it from the rear guard over there. We also have plenty of MGs and things floating around, so that should surpass any loss of men. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 stormtroopers. Might actually be worth swapping some of these out for raiders, seeing as they have tanks floating around. I'll just get some of them in to replace them. That is a good idea. We definitely want to keep trying to use the stormtroopers, though. I like singeing the enemy where possible. We're going to have 4 tanks to help steamroll them. These also have 1 cannon at the front, and then 2 on either side, MGs, and 2 MGs at the back as well. So if we are going to face the enemy tanks, we want them to be facing forward so that the tank can do the damage. Gonna get the balloon up with some air superiority missions straight away. They like to try and pop our balloon. The Americans have arrived. That's nice. We can blow some of that up now as well. There is their balloon. We finally have the balloon busting mission. Let's use it. Here are 2 of their aircraft, which we are now engaging. We do have superiority in numbers. We should win this engagement. We are going to lose 1 or 2. The enemy are approaching with their tanks. Might be worth having a little rejig if they're going to come straight for us. We need to get the raiders forward. Let's sort that out. Just told all these men to get in a different position. Their tanks are quite readily rolling across. We've destroyed their fighter aircraft and their balloon is now... Oh, it's still going. I did press the button, didn't I? They're attacking me. Damn it. They're getting a bit more giddy than what they usually are. Their tanks are just roaming around. Let's get these bombers taken care... Not the bombers, the artillery taken care of. I can't be having that. Damaging our tanks doing that, didn't they? They have reinforcements coming in. Let's start doing them some favors, shall we? I think it's only appropriate that we show the Americans what's going on in this war and that they should get on their boats and go back home. We're going to use mustard gas straight away. Clear this entire section while we have the harassment planes come in, protected with some more air superiority missions. And show them they should go home and leave us alone while we deal with France and my countrymen, Britain. Going to bombard this with standard artillery. This will get suppressed while we get the flamethrowers in. Oh, we could just send the tanks in. We'll make a decision in a moment. The problem I've got moving men around means that they are exposed and take fire from the enemy snipers. Now that is never ideal. There is the mustard gas. Welcome to the war, America. They actually got away with it, but their countrymen didn't over there. Not quite as effective as I would have wanted it to be, but we've got tanks, so we'll get these moving forward. And we can follow this up with some flamethrower troops. Hoping this will be successful. We've got the tanks coming forward. They should absorb any damage while our flame troops get forward. We could even suppress them. Don't really see the point at this moment in time because we don't want our flame troops to be affected by this. We can suppress them from back here, actually. That might be a good idea. We do have these troops which we can start bombarding. Our troops are running in. They're only being hit by... That artillery is not working for them. They're only being hit by a sniper fire apart from these guys here. Everyone else is focused on the tanks. That didn't work well for them, which is a bit annoying. Never mind, we've still got these troops in. The mustard gas has been effective. We can start shuffling a couple of troops down this way. We can try and keep these in some kind of death line. That would be ideal. Swoop them across. Let's just swoop them across. Let's see what happens with that. While we get more troops into this section of trench, we can have some harassment planes knocking around. They will get burnt, hopefully enough before combat begins. Not quite, but they are going to not like that very much. Look at this now. He's running around, murdering them all. Sounds good to me. Let's get these grenadiers inside the trench. They are being murdered by sniper fire. I don't like those snipers. They are definitely leaving a bit of a stain on our assault. These are actually murdering our men. I can't be having that. Let's gas these because we can. And send some bombardments this way. If they're wanting to come, they're going to have to not like it too much. That's part of the policy we have here. Oh, we lost a tank. I didn't actually realise. Should have been paying a bit more attention maybe. Let's turn them around and go back the other way. Could even send this one home. Let's have a look at how much it cost. 120 supply per one to get it sent back in. That is expensive. But I don't really care. It's all good fun. Oh, we are burning them thoroughly. Excellent do. We've lost some grenadiers. We need to make sure we protect our forward positions. Get 2 units in there and everything else should be good. Now we are thoroughly gassing the enemy. We're going to want some supply reinforcements in here though. These are still murdering the troops. Works for me. Don't know what happened to their tanks. I think they brought them deeper into their defensive work. We can send this one home. It's very much done. We'll get some replacements in and we'll send them up this direction. We'll get 2 more in because we can. We're going to want to get more stormtroopers in. We can resupply from this section down here, which works for me. And we can just keep going up now. Let's just keep going. We've got all this we can happily take. We'll work our way over to C. This is all connected, so we could do the same going over to A as well. We could... Yeah, we'll go at it from this forward section. Let's get them sort of ready to do this. And everything will be well. It doesn't look like they actually have... Oh, there are the tanks. We need the grenadiers up here to have a play. Hopefully they don't get murdered before this happens. If the enemy tank is silly, they will get murdered. Enemy tank is down. Grenadiers are the way to deal with them. Let's get some of these troops up here ready while we take control of this area. Pretty clear there's nothing else here, otherwise we would have been in trouble in capturing the emplacement itself. Let's just get some men over this way ready while we have this section a little bit secure and move down this section of trench. The enemy want to have a gander down there. Let's tell them they're not going to do it. It takes a little bit of time, so we'll get them sent there. They're only going there, so that's all good. They want to go across, they're going to have to run through some mustard gas. And they won't like that. If we had normal riflemen here, they should run out and... Oh, tank on tank action. Currently just being peppered. We need the forward cannon. Oh, they're dead. The grenadiers took care of it. We can have these running up there while we steamroll across. This gas stopped anybody from encroaching down that section. This is looking fairly solid. We can even just get some of these in there to make sure we hold that quite happily. Sounds good to me. While we make our way merrily down this section. Let's just roll them in a bit. Get them forward. Move the tanks across with them. We can just swivel them like this. The enemy don't have raiders. They have a mortar which is already firing at us. We can get a bombing run in, I suppose. Their artillery is all over there. I don't know if that's in any good condition or not. But these are now extremely tired. We can swap some of these out. Let's get some fresh troops in at this point. Don't want to lose any if we can help it. We can have 2 flames and 2... No, we'll have 3 of each. Sounds good to me. Let's get those flames sat in there. I need a button for all these. It's going to have to be a hotkey, is this? Not too sure what they're doing, but they need to go that way. Get rid of that, please. They are murdering our men with it. I'm going to have a hotkey for these tanks. That would be ideal. These have grenades, but I don't know if they will use them. Get rid of that. Need rid of these. That MG is shooting us as well. Will the main cannon take care of it? It should. I don't know what the reload rate is on that thing. Oh, it's dead. Excellent. Let's move them forward. We can wiggle our way around with these units now. Oh, stay in the trench, lads. You'll get murdered by the snipers. I don't think they've got too many things left, to be completely honest. This has been a bit of a cakewalk. We'll just keep shuffling them. Their artillery is just there. We can make sure that that doesn't do anything anymore. Our plane is happily floating around. That might mean we have eliminated everybody that is available there. Have we just murdered them all? The arty is still active. Nobody's shooting the tanks. I think that is actually it, to be fair. That is actually surprising. That seemed really easy. I suppose it would be if we had the mass amounts of supply and things that we have, but we've not really used that much of it. I think it's more of a case of the enemy doesn't know how to deal with tanks very well. Let's send some of these up while these capture A. I think we're going to call this a wrap. Just got the command trench to do. Big bulky things really, aren't they? Wasn't it correct that the Germans could only build around 10 of them, and that was only because they used the scrap metal from the scrap yards, because they simply didn't have enough steel left? Someone will know a bit more about it than me. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure they only could possibly build around 10. The Americans are holding the fort. They are getting murdered, however. The Grenadiers are very nice in close quarters, man for man in comparison. They'll be running around in those, lobbing grenades in like mad. There we go, we've done it. Just gonna wait for that now. Yet another sweep. That one felt super smooth. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. Smashed into bits. We only lost around 200. They lost just over 8,000. We made a profit. Can't go wrong with that. Excellent, dude. We lost 1 heavy tank. Easy. The will is slowly going down. Calais is nearly ours. We can't attack again this turn. It still says they've got more tanks there. Maybe they didn't field enough for us to destroy, meaning that they are actually intact on the map. Going to end the turn. They won't attack, I don't think. No. September 1917. Ooh, we've got some unread events. The Logan Riot. A riot resulted in 16 dead and 22 injured. Occurred in Houston, where a regiment of black soldiers took up arms against local police and citizens. While local authorities claim the soldiers were responsible, outside sources say that the riots were instigated by several local officers, citizens who wrongfully arrested, beat and detained the soldiers and their families. Well, that's not very nice, is it? What's the other one? Will of the people. Increase our will by some. Well, we'll do that with combat. They have moved potentially more units in there. Let's have a look-see with Army Intel. Oh, they've got... Is that the French one? Oh, we might actually be facing some French tanks. We haven't done that yet. They have the Siege Arty there as well. Let's have a look at this front line. Everything seems okay. We'll go for that. It'll do. We'll hold it. We could get more tanks in, but I'm not going to. Let's have a look at Noyon. No, we'll have to wait till the next turn for that. Troops are quite widely spread. They don't necessarily have a death stack as such. That might be why they're not attacking. Maybe they're reacting to the airplanes being everywhere. They see it as a stronger force, so are having to stick units more spread out. That might be why, because that wasn't the case before. If you remember, they had several death stacks flown in around, which we had to constantly move units for. Not entirely sure. It could be literally just the reaction of reacting to our deployments. So we've got some research. Let's have a gander. How else can we quickly murder everybody? Could go for the air burst. I do want to have a go at that. The rolling barrage, where's that? That's there. We could have a go of that. We could get some snipers of our own. That could be quite nice. I mean, we've got a few things we could go for. The sight range on the balloon actually might be the best one for me right now. We could even go for the damage on the machine gun on the bombers. That would be extremely nice. Let's get these sorted. We'll get the balloon doing more sight range. That's always been a bit of a pain in the ass. We're going to go for Cali again. This says minor loss. Okay. Let's see how we minor lose this. The enemy have managed to disregard some of their trenches again. I don't like it when they do this. Everything is separate again. Quite a nuisance. This is quite a juicy one and may require some bit. Well, all of this is actually gone. This is gone. All this is gone. It'll be hard to actually tell what is there until we get up to it. Gonna have to wing it. We'll go for a similar strategy. We'll go for a similar strategy with the stormtroopers and tanks. We actually have 30 tanks now available, which is disgusting. Let's get a nice juicy stack. What I might even try and do is roll these around and have them followed by the stormtroopers or the grenadiers. I might even go for the grenadiers actually, in case the tanks do decide to come rolling around. We can deal with them a little bit better. Looks good to me. Let's begin. Yeah, let's get the balloon in the end, see what is actually going on here. Oh, we do see significantly more things now. All their trenches are a mess because they've disregarded so many of them. Quite annoying. There's plenty of Americans floating around there. They all have snipers in them. Quite irritating. There are the tanks. These are the French tanks. Light tank, and that is a light tank as well. The enemy are moving units in. Some harassment planes are due. We could do the same over here. Let's get them in with some air support as well. And we're going to send some bombers up here to deal with that artillery. Don't like the artillery. Let's blow it up. All of this isn't too nice. We've just spent a huge chunk of our supply there on doing the initial bombing run. They are the heavy artillery as well, which we don't necessarily want to have to deal with. Hopefully these will deal the damage on these troops running across open ground, and they are. That is good news. They are starting to get into the trench, but it doesn't matter. Did I do a balloon busting mission? I'm not sure. We'll send another one in. The enemy are refraining from getting any aircraft sent in. We are bombing their artillery though. That's doing them world of good. Our planes are everywhere. We are shooting them down in their own trenches. To help the aircraft along, we can mustard gas some of these, get them out of the trenches. Just because I'm nice like that, you see. Because if getting shot while you're in your defensive trench isn't bad enough, getting singed by some toxic gas certainly must do the trick. American retreat, observation balloon down, tanks being... Oh, look, they're all mostly gone. They're just being harassed, man. This is wonderful. Should we get a few more in? Get a few more in. We're going to keep sending them in, aren't they? We'll just keep going with this. We've got the supply. Let's see how many we can eliminate with the tanks. Not the tanks, the planes alone. They're running out of fuel, however, but that doesn't really matter. They're sending troops over the top now to have a gander. Don't think it's really worth it, but they are doing. Is the artillery gone? Mostly. We'll send another bombing run in to help deal with that. We could even send one over here to destroy those tanks that they have. They're sending units over, but they're just going to get melted at this point. Sorry, Canada. You have been melted. Excellent news for us, though. We can now start actually thinking about getting in. Gonna actually try and use the hotkeys a little bit better today. If I get these set up, we might be alright. But these are mostly all murdered. There's plenty of units floating around there. They keep coming in from this direction. Let's make sure we stop them from doing that. It's been about 3.5 minutes and their trenches are looking half empty. Good news for us. We'll just get another bombing run to deal with that artillery. They are resupplying from here as well. Just going to let the Air Force do most of it because we can. I suppose we could send the tanks in. Let's go, chaps. We'll actually use these on a hotkey. We'll try and keep them in a nice juicy line and see what happens. If I send them forwards first and then put them on an angle, everybody should get murdered really easily as long as they keep going forwards. They seem to be struggling in this mud. I've never seen that before, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, they are being shot by the riflemen, but that's not going to make any difference soon. Now we turn them on the side and steamroll anybody that remains in. We'll get them further in and we can get these back ones hopefully. We can even do the traditional artillery if I can actually get it in the right spot. That would be wonderful. Hate it when it does that. What are we on? 7. That's still sending units over. Let's just keep them rolling in. Even get them to turn around. They don't have any grenadiers. They're sending lots of units in there to replace these. Canada are going to be suffering losses, and America certainly are. 7. Let's turn them facing north. That way they get hammered. We can even start sending some of the grenadiers in. We get these up there fairly soon. Everything will be very happy. All these troops are being hammered. The planes are getting them. The tanks are getting them. They're not having a very good day. Let's just keep moving them forwards around this area. Excellent. Still sending them. Being a little bit silly, but it doesn't matter. They are still getting hit by a sniper fire. That's got to be a chunk of them done. We can just keep going with this, I suppose. Keep them on the angle we want. And murder anybody in this trench section as well, because we can. They're not going to get grenades thrown at them, I don't think. We'll just steamroll them at this point. We better get some of these other troops in, otherwise they're not going to get there in time. Send them into that one while these run up to here. Start capturing that. I'm sure we had a few more. Yes, we do. Let's get these up there too before we forget and leave them. Excellent job. Oh, there are some units in here which the tanks cannot see. They do not have very good visuals. They are now all gone. Let's move down this way. Could start dealing with this, and I want to get them back in a nice line again. See if we can sort that out. They get a bit skew-whiff at times. Our units are running around to try and make sure we capture that point. As long as I get them in some relative line, we'll be alright. And even that'll do. I'll just steamroll this way now. These tanks are immense. Just steam through it all. It's so easy. We've even got 2 more infantries up here waiting to do something. They are getting shot by snipers though. Not ideal. Hopefully they make it up there in time. Gonna have 2 floating around up there. They're not shooting anybody. Now they are. Everybody is now a target. Look at this. The riflemen can't do anything to them. You'd have thought they'd be able to throw grenades at them, but they just don't seem to want to do that. Anybody down here is getting murdered. We're just rolling around the parking tanks at this point. Might as well send these troops over. By the time they get there, anything that remains is going to be dead. Need to make sure this stays clear. We can gas it. Could even just leave 1 tank down here to help deal with anything that might get through, while we send our troops over. We'll leave just the 1, we'll leave the tower. In fact, we'll just reinforce this section with 1 and send these over. Mustard gas is murdering anybody that likes to get near. They certainly don't like that. And then the tank finishes them off. There's nothing else here. The units are running in. They're not even being hit by a sniper fire anymore because there's nobody. It's just nobody else. Easy peasy. That was a walk in the park. Just going to capture this section now. That's probably one of the quicker battles I've done when they have tanks and things. Steamrolls everybody. I mean, you'd think that would have crushed about 10 of my men there, but it didn't. Excellent job. We're taking A now, and now we're going to go on to there. I just need to wait for our mustard gas to dissipate. I'm not going to do that to our chaps. There we go, it's gone. They will have troops in that command trench. So we better make sure that we are good. If I stick a tank there, they will get the buff on morale. Like that, so they should fight for a little bit longer. Let's send them in. See how much of an effect this actually has. It will be significant. Last time they took it out in clear. We've got the Canada and American troops. They may win that engagement. Doesn't matter, we've got more ready to go. I'm going to call this a win. Oh, we actually won that because we had the morale boost. That's the only reason. Excellent job. Just going to have to zoom it now to get past this timer. Easy peasy, done it again. Don't think they stand much of a chance now at this point. This has got to be even better than the other one. That's all we lost. We lost 90 Grenadier infantry. Not a bad result at all. When I do the Allies campaign, I will be putting it on the most difficult difficulty. This will be once I have won this campaign, which, as things are going, won't be so far off. That's another big hit on the enemy. We could go for another battle on this recording. Got a little bit more time to do it today. And I want Calais already. Should we do it again? End the turn. Again, they're not going to attack. We've got more money now. They've got more troops in Calais. Do they have any death stacks? Nothing significant. What's this? Higher marks. The British are persistent in their pursuit of a better tank, but seem to be fixated on one particular model, the Mark IV. It's a slightly faster, slightly more maneuverable version of the previous model. Show them that it's pointless. Well, it really is, because we just keep blowing them up. Kinda want the machine gun damage. We can get that in 2 turns. Let's do the landing strip. Then we'll get the machine gun damage for the harassment planes up. That will be extra tasty. Just another reminder, by this point I should be live streaming soon. Make sure you are there. It should be good, and you may get a chance to win the game for free. 3 people will get the lucky dip. The Australians, the British, the French, the Americans, Canadians. I thought I saw an Indian one in there. There they are. The Indians are there as well. This is going to be a bit of a more desperate defense by the Allies in this one. I'm going to leave it for the next episode. I hope to see you in the live stream. This will be my first ever. Any support you have would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you in a bit.